Aloha, my name is Julie Meier, and I'd like to share something about myself today. I'd like to start it off with the phrase, everything happens for a reason. And I know that you've heard this phrase before, but today I'm going to share how this phrase has brought me to my life in living these three goals. Be kind, pay it forward, and leave the world a better place than you found it. I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, and a graduate of Marino High School. I served as the business manager of our school paper there, and it was then that I fell in love with accounting. I attended the University of Southern California and returned home with a degree in accounting. Best life ever, right? Let me share more. Soon after returning to Honolulu, I began my career in corporate accounting. I loved it. I was married a year later after graduation, and my first son was born a year later. Life was great, and 4 years later, I was expecting my second child. Just when I thought everything was perfect, my relationship turned abusive. It didn't make any sense to me. I came from a good family. I went to private schools, graduated from USC, had a perfect son, and was expecting my second child. The abuse got to the point where I ended up in the hospital in early labor. A social worker was then assigned to my unborn child. Who would have thought that at 6 months pregnant, I would be sitting in an attorney's office signing divorce papers. Within 6 months, I was divorced and raising my newborn daughter and my 4-year-old son. Remember, everything happens for a reason. If I hadn't gone through an abusive relationship, I would not have the compassion that I have for others who are in such relationships. I understand they're angry as family and friends who tell them to just leave him because they truly believe he will change. It's the reason that we stay. No matter what anyone says, it just makes us so angry when they tell us, just leave him, because it's not that easy when you truly believe they will change. There's a saying that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. I have learned that this is very true. Through this all, I have learned to be kind to others. Soon God brought my current husband into my life, Greg. My children were 5.5 months old and 4 years old. He raised them as his own, and they both call him dad. Best life ever, right? Well, when my son turned 14, he had a bad headache and passed out several times within a 20-minute period. Took him to the pediatrician and a neurologist. Both agreed that it was stress and fatigue and that he should stop studying so hard. I kept putting the pressure on and asking for a CAT scan. The neurologist finally agreed to give me a CAT scan and even an EEG to give me peace of mind. Well, the CAT scan showed a tumor in the front of his brain and the EEG showed seizure activity. Within months, our world turned upside down. He was in a 17-hour open brain surgery with 2 surgeons and a recovery at a second hospital. Remember, everything happens for a reason. This experience gave me a heart of gratitude and I learned to pay it forward. I was so grateful to the doctors and the Epilepsy Foundation of Hawaii. I made the decision to serve on their board of directors. It was the start of my involvement on charitable boards that touched my life in one way or another. One day, during my son's recovery, he told me to do something for myself, and I had never thought of that. So I decided to join a walking group. I ran 3 marathons over the next 5 years. Best life ever, right? Fast forward. Children graduated from college, got married, started their own families. Best life ever, right? Over the last 7 years, I have had the opportunity to serve as a caretaker for my aunt with pancreatic cancer, my grandfather with severe Alzheimer, and my grandmother, who lived to be 99. I helped to be their caretaker and their executor of their estates before they passed. How blessed was I to be able to do this? When my grandmother passed away last year, I realized that she was the kindest person I had ever known. She never had a bad word to say about anyone. She always said to pray during trials in our lives. And I just will never forget that because I don't know anyone else like her. So remember, everything happens for a reason. And today I wear this bracelet. From the day she passed, I had these made. and it says, live life like Lorraine. And it just reminds me to have a heart, to serve others, to be kind, and just to leave the world a better place than we found it. And that's what she did. And that's what I aspire to do. So yes, everything happens for a reason, but it taught me to be kind, pay it forward, and leave the world a better place than I found it. Thank you.